So let's say we looked at slide. In terms of corporate governance, we looked at like they are 50% independent directors. More or less, they are complying with Company Act guidelines, wherein they have committees for they have a whistleblower policy. Their remunerations are as per industry standards. They are not significantly high. We could have classified it as very good corporate governance practices, but there was one. They have also been giving hefty dividends to their shareholders. But one grouse which we thought was a problem in was the issue of preference shares, wherein.
Yeah, the preference shares are a big drag on valuation which was recently issued. It's a very tax ineffective way of repatriating cash to shareholders, but that's not more of a corporate governance issue. Apart from that, the CEO, the top management pay is much below industry standards because largely they have only two listed comparables in India, that is TV18 and Sun TV. And Sun TV, both the Maran brothers take the highest salaries in the country home as compared to that is much lower.
Thank you.
Entertainment Enterprise Limited is a company engaged in television broadcasting, having presence in various genres and geographies. With a market cap of INR 260 billion, it is the largest listed television broadcasting firm in India and has an average daily trading volume of 2.4 million. Good morning all. We, Alexei D. Tocco, will present to you our study on Zee Entertainment Enterprise Limited. Amid the current optimism prevailing in the television industry, Zee released its Q2 FY14 results and surprised the markets. Nevertheless, we initiate a hold with a 12-month target price of INR 214 per share because we believe that Zee is on an unknown terrain. The reasons are, number one, the tri-digitization mandate has already been priced in and reflected in Zee's stock price. It appreciated by approximately 87% since the first announcement. Now, the focus will shift on the reduction in the wholesale channel rates. Number two, the increased investment in content will increase the risk in the business model. Number three, the extent of impact of tri-cap on the advertisements and the regulations on the curtailment of the powers of the distributors is yet to be seen. Moving on to introduce Zee. Zee launched its first channel in 1991 and has leveraged on its first mover advantage to create the largest subscriber base of about 670 million viewers and to establish its presence in 169 countries, including the regions MENAP, North America, Southeast Asia, and Europe. It is also diversified into domestic regional markets, which provide its stability and a cushion against decreased advertisement revenues and increased competition.
Despite a strong legacy, why hold it? We answer this question using 6 major arguments. For a broadcaster, striking a chord to the audience is of prime importance as it ultimately determines its viewership. Driven by its consistent cost of goods sold, yet a substantial increase in advertisement revenues, Zee has been successfully monetizing this viewership even with its conservative investments in number of channels, original programming hours, and non-fiction shows in comparison to its competitors. However, aggressive competition has forced the company to shift its focus to high investments in content with high quality, evident from its new shows like Jodha Akbar. This enhances the risk in the business model. Expecting increased uptake of niche and HD channels, Zee has committed large investments in these channels. Break-even time horizon for these is uncertain. Ad revenues are driven by national economic growth and viewership. Our analysis shows that ad revenues are highly correlated with GRP of the flagship channel Zee TV and corporate ad spends. In the short term, we feel that due to Tri's ad cap of 10 minutes, Zee might face problem in offsetting the loss of inventory reduction because Zee TV's top 4 shows lag behind Star TV's with colors just at its ceiling. Also, its new shows have not been able to garner the desired viewership. Regional channels, owing to their current ad inventories, will need to increase their ad rates by a greater percentage. Subscription revenues, highly crucial due to its non-cyclical and sticky nature, has recorded an increase of 22% in financial year 13, majorly a result of phase 1 and 2 of digitization. This trend is likely to persist due to rising declared subscriber base as a result of digitization. Erstwhile, wholesale rates were marked up by 138% to offset the underdeclaration by local cable operators, which will now come down due to improved declaration. This might get neutralized by increase in share of broadcasters in the subscription revenues, rising consumer spends and subsequent uptake of HD and niche channels, convergence of ARPU in India with that of the global average. The potential game changer, sports business, is likely to see a turnaround as digitization progresses. However, due to lack of popular sporting rights with Zee, we don't see it driving revenues significantly.
Carrying on, we expect the share of international revenue in total revenue to decrease as traditional international markets will grow at a considerably slower pace when compared to the domestic market. This is because of increasing competition and fall in immigrants due to economic downturn. To revive the international revenue stream, Zee has launched new channels like Zee Alwan, Zee Film Hindi, etc. in local languages. However, the revenue realization period of these is not certain. In the backdrop of the mentioned concerns, strong financials as well as improving corporate governance have kept our expectations buoyant. Significant reduction in loans and advances to related parties and increasing shareholding shareholding of foreign investors over the years indicate improving corporate governance. But 37% of promoter holding has been pledged by promoter Sequador Media Services Private Limited, which is substantially higher than BSE 500 average of 6.3%. Zee, similar to its national and international peers, is almost debt-free. This gives it a high flexibility to raise debt in future. There is a significant difference of 7 percentage points between ROE of Zee and Sun TV. This is because of Sun's very high EBIT margin owing to its large market share and strong control over programming costs. Zee's EBIT margin will be under pressure in the medium term as it focuses on new and quality content. In the long term, however, we expect the ROE of Zee to increase with improving asset turnover ratio.
Now, we support our recommendation by determining the fair value of the stock using discounted cash flow and relative pricing model. Discounted cash flow valuation, growth in advertisement revenue has been calculated using FICCI growth estimates, Zee's last year's advertisement revenue growth, and growth in corporate ad spends by analyzing 16 major companies. Growth in domestic subscription revenue has been calculated by increase in number of declared households, whereas growth in international subscription revenue has been taken at a conservative 5% per annum owing to the factors discussed previously. Cost of goods sold as a percentage of sales has been projected to rise in over next 3 years owing to the management's intent to blow back profits into quality content. All this and a terminal growth rate of 5% per annum culminates into a price of INR 207. Comparing Zee with national and international peers and also Nifty 50 companies, we observe that Zee's valuation is expensive despite its high ROE and growth rate, whereas Zee's closest listed peer Sun TV is valued almost in line with the same set of companies. Historically, Zee has been trading at a premium over Sun TV because of Zee's better scale and well-diversified portfolio of channels, and Zee's higher share of subscription revenue in the total revenue, and also because of Sun's political overhang. However, going forward, we see this premium coming down because of Sun is better positioned to benefit from digitization due to its more than 60% market share in the regional market, and this also puts it in a better position to offset any advertisement inventory reduction. Also, Sun has been consistently posting higher margins as compared to Zee. In our relative pricing model, differential rates to PE and EV/EBITDA multiple is on the basis of results of our regression analysis, and this results in a price of INR 221 per share. Combining DCF and relative pricing model, we arrive at a price of INR 214 per share. Though giving out a bonus preference share was a positive move by the management, but they could have created higher value for the shareholders by giving out either bonus debentures or giving a one-time dividend.